My dear Sagittarius, it does not come from a distant supernatural realm, but from a place very close, where dreams and reality meet. Picture this. You sit by a fire in the deep forest. A guide approaches quietly, not rushing, not forcing. Their voice is not loud, but you know you need to listen. You, with your natural freedom and light, are stepping into a new chapter. A chapter where intuition will be your compass, and old lessons will be the baggage you cannot leave behind. Karma is not a threat, it is a gentle truth, steady like an underground spring, silent, slow, yet never mistaken. You have loved with all your heart. Even if that love was not returned, you lost nothing. Because that love one day will circle back. Perhaps through another person, in another circumstance, but deeper, kinder, truer. Write in the comments, I'm ready to receive the good things the universe sends to me. Many thoughts rush through your mind like shooting stars, ideas, plans, inspirations, memories. But when you look deep inside, one truth stands clear. You are longing for a true connection. Not the noisy kind of affection, but the touch of a soul, something you cannot name, yet always feel. Someone is thinking of you, not with words, but with energy. They see you in unconscious moments, in dreams, in a song, in the scent of something familiar. They do not understand why, but you live in their mind, and you feel it too. This person does not rush. They come with maturity, with quiet but enduring emotion. They are not looking for games, not for temporary filling. They come because they recognize you. But you, Sagittarius, have learned to protect yourself too carefully. You hide old wounds behind your smile. You cover your heart with philosophy, and that makes them hesitate, makes them confused. They are not sure if you feel it, and they are also facing their own wounds. Not because you are too loud, but because you are too real. You do not pretend. And that frightens them, because in front of you, they cannot hide anything. You stir their inner world. Masks fall away. And yes, this awakens many side effects: envy, jealousy, negative energies. You may even feel attacked by unhealthy thoughts from others. But rest assured, you're protected. Remember, true light always has shadows beside it, but it is never consumed by them. This is the meeting of two souls, not bound by age, distance, circumstance, or name. It arrives as a trial, but also as a miracle. If you dare to step in, know that you are stepping into a journey that will change you forever. You may choose to close it off, to walk away, but you will always remember it. Or you may choose to enter, not with reason, but with courage. It is a tidal wave of emotion. When this person appears, you do not only feel attracted, you feel as though the universe breathes through you. You know you could be hurt, and yet you cannot stop. You see yourself in their eyes, a version long forgotten. If you listen closely, you will hear the call from within. This is the moment for courage. Step forward, even without answers. Remember, you are not alone. There are souls, angels, in a subtle sense, rearranging your path. They do not speak with words, but send you signs, through unexpected work, a strange conversation, even in your dreams. No more living by expectations, by the should, by the fear of being hurt. Live with the fire inside you, the flame Sagittarius was born with. This is the journey of emotional maturity. No more hiding, no more covering yourself with humor, but daring to face truth, yourself, and love, even when it makes you tremble. Dare to love, even if that love does not last. Because what you learn is this: you can still love after everything, and that is worth more than any ending. Not every love endures, but every true love leaves a mark. And you, Sagittarius, are the unforgettable mark in someone's heart. If you have ever felt this way, write in the comments, I am ready to live true, with love, and with myself. Share this message if you believe someone needs to hear it. Open your heart, because the next miracle is near. Will you step in, or will you turn away? There is one thing souls who have walked through darkness know well. True love does not come to those who stand still. It is the reward for those who rise after collapse, who choose to trust even after betrayal, who step into the unknown without demanding guarantees. Listen closely. What is happening to you now is not random. It is the universe's reply. To the nights when you prayed in silence, to the times you forgave without a word, to every step you took unseen. The alignment of two souls does not come at once. It is like a flame struck from stone, weak, faint, then suddenly blazing when the wind turns just right. Someone is thinking of you, not with words, but with precise feelings, A vague glance, a familiar song, a dream that cannot be explained. They are making plans, imagining, building scenes of meeting where only two exist. And you as well, sometimes in your unconscious. But you stay silent, you focus on work, on ideals, or simply keep away from what feels uncertain. And it is that silence that leaves the other lost. Even if you feel the bond has grown cold, a part of the energy still boils beneath. And perhaps you have felt confusion, weariness, or doubted whether hope should remain. But here is what matters. You are moving through the final stretch of a heavy cycle. The invisible barriers are loosening. What once chained you to sorrow is melting away. Even if results are not yet visible, know this: you are on the right path. And there are guides, not seen in form but felt in spirit, clearing the way before you step by step. In the moment you least expect, a wave of change will strike, carrying opportunity, light, new people, and perhaps a love worthy of you. The strange thing is this: there is one who still cannot forget you. Even if you have been cold, even if you turned away, they still long to return and reclaim what they once lost: you. They will not come with hollow words. They will act, and you will feel it clearly. No longer the victim, no longer the one who waits. You hold the strongest card, your will. You may choose to step back, or you may choose to enter the game. A journey of emotion, intense, risky, but carrying rewards worth the cost. It is not only an outer journey, but an inner passage. You may move homes, you may change work, or it may simply be a shift inside, from doubt to trust, from closed to open. When you change, the world around you changes. And that person, even in confusion, even in loss, still turns toward you. Not victory because you are loved again, but victory because you are no longer afraid to love. At the end of this road lies worthiness, a companion mature enough to walk with you, a version of yourself, stronger, softer, clearer. And you will realize all that has passed was preparation. Sometimes your silence is your strongest weapon, not to punish, but to cleanse. If they are true, they will cross the distance. If not, you will know you were right. And if they return, it is not accident, it is destiny. If thinking of them brings you peace, it is a sign. If your chest tightens, it is also a sign. Not a signal to run, but a call to wait for the right moment. Sagittarius does not live by fear. You live by truth, and truth has no need to rush. Whether you choose to continue or to stop, do it with an open heart. Write in the comments, "I am ready to live with truth, love, and my own light." And share this message if you know someone who also stands before a door of change. The door has opened, and what comes next may be the most intense experience you have ever known. Will you step through, or will you turn away? Listen to your guide. Love is not for the one who stands still. It belongs to the one who dares to fly without a net, to the one who has learned from wounds and chooses to rise again with simple faith. And one more truth: what is unfolding in your life right now is not random. It takes time for things to settle. The soul and energy need time to catch the signal, to synchronize. Not every connection appears at once. It is like a hidden fire, small at first, then slowly illuminating every corner until everything aligns and becomes clear. Someone is searching for you with both reason and heart. They are sending subtle signs, consistent signs. In their mind, they build a meeting place, scenes where only the two of you exist, and you two may be holding vivid images, visions that stir your heart into waves. Be careful. Your silence, even meant for self-protection, can become a weapon that unsettles the other. The distance you create, from busyness, from fatigue, or simply from guarding yourself, leaves them confused. On the surface, it may appear cold, but underneath, a current is still burning, waiting for the chance to surge. Do not ignore the sign. Where you thought the fire was gone, it still smolders. The burdens that once held you down, in work, in family, in emotion, are beginning to lift. Doors once closed are cracking open. Even if your vision is still clouded, the path you walk remains the right one. There are unseen guides walking with you. They are quiet but steady. They are helping you break the chain of what once seemed like endless misfortune. Fortune begins to smile. A wave of opportunity, of energy, of change is coming, taking you to places you never thought you would reach. And there is this: your silence, your chosen stillness has deeply affected someone. It may be a person of passion, of pride, attuned to the rhythms of the universe. They are not easy to give up. They will act to restore the connection, sending clear signals, showing strong deeds, not only words. You stand now at the point where everything can turn. Energy is building. Destiny is opening a fierce invitation for you to live as the one worthy of all you are. The game has begun. The cards are on the table, and you are the flame that can burn away what no longer has value. The choice belongs to you, to stand aside or to leap into the storm of feeling that calls your name. This is not a passing desire. It is life's invitation to rise again, to trust again. The movement ahead is not only outward, it is inward. You may move for work. You may move for a meeting, or simply because it is time to leave the safety of what you have known. When you move, a surge of energy will rise. When you allow change, love in its right time can break through, even when you do not expect it. If there were quarrels, misunderstandings, or long silences, understanding can come like a storm that repairs, agreements, sincere apologies, restoring what seemed forever lost. But there will also be those who drift away because you chose to turn away. Without a compass, they are lost. As distance grows, they will either find a new path or accept the loss. At the end of that uncertain road, a victory is waiting. A victory in love, strong enough to dissolve old wounds, to turn years of pain into testimony of worth. You radiate an unforgettable light because you are not ordinary. You carry a noble flame, a wide-open heart, and a sharp mind. Anyone who stands beside you is blessed with a love of depth and truth. The image rising in your energy is the King of Wands. Not only fire and heat, but the will to build, to act with purpose, to give and to receive true love. One who returns to you may still carry wounds, but they are ready to step in if you answer with sincerity. What you have endured is a precious lesson. Now is the time to filter, to keep only what is worthy. Your indifference is a subtle language. It is not arrogance. It is self-care. It is loyalty to the lessons you have learned. When you fall silent, you are protecting your own value. Judgment appears not to punish, but to signal rebirth. To release resentment, to accept healing, to prepare for a love not easily broken at the very first touch. I know the scars remain. Doubt has made you build walls to guard each step, yet the other is persistent. They do not rush, but they do not abandon. They want to come closer. They want to speak. They want to mend, to fight for what once was. There are quarrels that made you withdraw, but also a patience strong enough to pull things back into place, if it is truly worth it. Now life is offering you a chance that can change everything. If you choose to respond, let your response come from the truth you hear within, not from fear or suspicion. Remember the unseen thread. Feel the shelter of the guides who walk with you. They are inviting you to live a life that honors yourself. The guide reminds you, King of Cups, matured emotion. King of Wands, directed action. Judgment, the call to a full life. What is coming is not small, nor is it easy. It is vast, intense, and real, and you carry every quality to hold it. Distance, silence, and judgment are tools in your hands to rebuild yourself. On one side is rebirth. You release the remnants of sorrow to walk more lightly. On the other side is a serious approach from the other. They want to clarify, to act, to commit with deeds, not empty promises. Listen to your heartbeat. When your body softens and your breath deepens, that is your soul saying go. When a knot tightens, slow down, act wisely. You have been a target of envy and negative energy, but nothing touches your core when you stand firm in faith and in the daily choices that honor yourself. Your protection is no baseless miracle. It is the outcome of courage, of countless small decisions that keep you true. When the noise outside falls silent, you find your inner stillness again, and you hear more clearly. Finally, place your hand on your shoulder as a reminder. Do not act out of haste, but act from truth. When the trumpet sounds in your life, through a coincidence, a clear invitation, a crossroads that cannot be ignored, remember the vow you make to yourself today. To live true, to love bravely, to become the most worthy version of yourself. Is something clear about to unfold with the one who thinks of you, dreams of you, longs for you? The answer is yes, but it will not come like a lightning flash that fades. It will come as a decisive gesture, a short message, a direct invitation, or a meeting that allows no escape. It is not a performance, it is not a script, it is a truth that longs to be seen. If they draw near and then pull away, do not mistake it for lack of feeling. They are wrestling with their own shadows, with pasts still unfinished. Even so, the pull remains, a thread never cut. This is the time you need healthy boundaries. The distance you keep is not punishment. It is the measure of value. The flame inside you was not born to destroy. It was born to build. The King of Wands in you is not only strength but direction. The lesson you will learn now is to hold dignity without shouting. You do not need to assert with words. You guard your heart as you guard a home, with doors, with windows, with keys. Those who truly wish to enter will knock, introduce themselves, and speak their own name. Only then will you see who brings genuine feeling, and who brings only fleeting memory. Passion can ignite in a moment, but true love is the flame that knows how to nourish for the long road. What matters is not what sign they belong to. What matters is whether your body and your soul open or close when they appear. There are connections that uplift, and there are connections that only consume. You have lived enough to know the difference, even if it is hard to admit. In work and in money, unexpected choices will appear. Not to change your title, but to change the air you breathe. Sometimes it is not the number in your account that grows, but the peace you feel. When the mind is no longer suffocated by worry, the heart dares to act. And in that clarity, important conversations will be born. You travel even when you do not board a plane. You travel when you change a route, when you reset a schedule, when you close the pages already written. Perhaps a real journey will come, opening a conversation no one expected. Your movement is like a mirror. When they see you rise, they fear losing you, and that fear will drive them to act. The King of Wands teaches this. The antidote to fear is sincere action. Meanwhile, the third voices, the gossip, the noise, they will fade. Because your calm gives them no stage. You do not need to argue. You only need to hold your focus. When you stop feeding the noise, it dissolves on its own. You have learned how to say no. But now you must also learn how to say yes, if the conditions are true: respect, patience, and truth. Not every flame is worth sustaining, but there is a flame that, if you dare to open your heart, will become a light that warms you for the long road. Victory does not come when you possess someone. Victory comes when you know you are worthy of a love with clear boundaries, loyalty, and the desire to nurture what lasts. You will win when you listen to the King of Cups within you, to feel deeply without being swept away. You will win when you honor the King of Wands, to act with direction, steady, and without harm. And you will win when you walk with judgment, the call to rebirth, to release the past, to step into the future. The other may arrive in confusion, yes, but your steadiness forces them to choose. They no longer have the right to negotiate the essentials. You have learned to stand firm. When that short message appears, remember, do not repeat what once hurt you. Cherish what once made you grow. The greatest fear that this love is only an illusion, a forbidden path with no meaning. If the truth reveals a boundary of morality, then your victory is to say no at the right moment. If the barrier is only old prejudice, then your victory is to say yes and dwell there. Judgment does not arrive to condemn, but to illuminate. Its trumpet does not announce punishment, but a new dawn. Not every flame must turn into commitment, but here, there is a chance to build. You feel it, they feel it. You long, they long. It is not perfect, but it can be true. And truth, even trembling, will endure if both choose with resolve. Lay upon the table what is sacred: loyalty, presence, respect, and a shared goal. On the other side, you will see a soul with scars, one who has learned costly lessons, and now wishes to give their life to this truth. You have walked through many spirals to stand here today. And in the midst of it all, one certainty appears. What was once stuck in your family, in your group, or in your community begins to loosen. A conversation you once feared now becomes an opening for release. A misunderstanding is cleared. A misplaced responsibility returns to its rightful place. This is not only liberation, this is purification, clearing the way for the victory your soul once swore to achieve. With this release, you no longer wake startled in the night. Instead, you rise into a new atmosphere. Peace, clarity, the steady beat of your heart in rhythm. No longer do you live on borrowed meanings from books or other voices. You are ready to live from your own truth, not imposed, not borrowed. The connection is still there, strong and two-sided. Temptation is real, not a game. Yes, there is instability, but your spiritual protection, along with your new clarity, reduces its force. In the material world, opportunities begin to emerge: work, finances, journeys, and this is vital. Outcomes depend less on luck and more on sincere decisions, from you and from them. The King of Cups, emotions mature, not reckless. The King of Wands, actions with purpose, courageous but not careless. Judgment, the past closed, the choice of what honors you most. If you think of sending a message, let it be born of peace, not sarcasm, not debt, not chains. A clear boundary is enough. If the answer comes, bless it and be ready to listen. If not, it is not failure. It is only a sign that life is ready, but the other is not. In both cases, victory belongs to you, because you chose without betraying yourself. They may call it indifference, but in truth, it is self-respect. You no longer carry the role of rescuer, no longer sacrifice yourself to keep another standing. You choose loyalty to your schedule, your mission, your calling, and strangely, that very self-respect awakens true love in the other. When you stop begging, they draw nearer. When you stop hiding, they speak truth. When you stop chasing, they sit at the table. Let yourself be seen for who you are today, not who you were in the pain of yesterday. Let the King of Cups guide you to feel deeply but with calm. Let the King of Wands lead you to act with focus, not impulse. And let judgment close what is old, so you are no longer pulled back by shadows. No more pretending, no more half-steps. No more disappearing only to return with excuses. If the other is ready, the story will touch your soul. If they are not, you still honor the rebirth within yourself. It may begin with a short message, a simple invitation to silence the noise, or a meeting once thought impossible that suddenly takes place. It will not be perfect, but it will be real. If you sense their hesitation, remember, it is not lack of feeling. It is the struggle with their own shadows. What matters is they are no longer running in circles. Your steadiness, your self-respect forces them to learn a new law. Respect, presence, a shared vision. You've been the target of envy, of gossip, of borrowed fears, but none of it reaches the true center of you, because you're protected. Not by charms, but by courage, by faith, by the right choices made day after day. Remember this: where there is sincerity, darkness cannot remain. Where there is clarity, the maze becomes a hallway. So listen to your heartbeat, and when the moment comes, speak the truth plainly, clearly. That will be the moment when the invisible thread between you is tested and when you see how much you have grown. The King of Wands in you is not a fleeting spark, but a guiding fire. A fire that decides which door to open, which to close, which window to leave ajar for fresh air. It makes you more ordered, more decisive, surrounded by healthier ties. Even your body knows. You breathe differently, you sleep differently, you work differently. In career and finances, the patterns are emerging. Not luck falling from nowhere, but the fruit of wise decisions. When you release what is not yours, you see the detours that spare you the barriers. And in this shift, love also finds its way. Life often opens from both sides. It clears work so your heart can breathe. It clears the schedule so there is time to speak. It arranges a chance for you to meet the right one at the right moment. You need not force it. The river, when it finds its course, flows on its own. Even the bonds once called forbidden are now brought into light by judgment. It does not punish, but shows you which lines are moral truth and which are only fear disguised as limits. If the boundary is real, your victory is a timely refusal. If the boundary is only old fear, your victory is a courageous yes. Do not worry about which sign they are. Coherence is the best sign. It tells you who remains when the glow fades, whose actions endure after the words. The distance you keep is not punishment but caution. Those who are true will find their way through. Those who are shallow will fall away. The King of Cups reminds you, emotions are not for wild eruption but for being nurtured by truth. In this season, family knots, borrowed responsibilities, old misunderstandings, they begin to loosen. Roles return to where they belong, and you are released. With this new order, you hear your intuition more clearly, and love again takes its rightful place. The movement comes quietly, but with weight. A knock on the door, a short invitation, a simple, honest word. You will know it is not a script, but reality. And then, the King of Wands in you guides the flame. The King of Cups keeps your heart gentle. Judgment lays every choice upon the table, transparent. You are no longer the one staring into mirrors, searching for cracks. You are the one who knows you have been reborn. And when paths cross, it is not magic. It is the signs you paid attention to. A dream repeating, a familiar song, a small opening. At work, a door once closed now opens. Not a golden staircase, but a solid step. A task, a project, an agreement. Small, yet true foundation. The King of Cups teaches you to name your feelings without losing composure. The King of Wands teaches you to act with direction, not recklessness. Judgment teaches you that you are not your wounds, and you are not born to repeat sorrow. A simple conversation on a park bench over a cup of coffee may open a new door. No grand music, no promises of forever, but sincere and specific. If it comes, cherish it. If it does not, that too is a sign that life has freed you from what was never meant for you. You have learned to listen, to order, to choose. And whether the story begins or closes, you walk forward steady, not turning back in resentment, but moving on with gentleness. If someone is mature enough to take your hand, a new path will open. If not, you still walk your own path, with fire and clarity as your companions. And that, Sagittarius, is the true victory.